Are you ready to embrace the life you've always dreamed of? Welcome back to Ancient Wisdom, where timeless insights meet modern challenges. In this video, we dive deep into life lessons for a better you in 2025, uncovering transformative truths that will guide you toward a more fulfilling and resilient future. Whether you're seeking clarity, purpose, or simply a fresh perspective, these lessons are designed to inspire action and foster growth. Join us as we explore how philosophy can illuminate your path to happiness, success, and inner peace. Letting go of toxic relationships. One of the most profound lessons in life is recognizing when relationships no longer serve your growth. Surrounding yourself with people who uplift and inspire you is essential. If your current circle feels more like a cage than a community, it's time to reassess. As the saying goes, you cannot heal in the same environment where you got hurt. Trust your instincts. If someone consistently uses you as a stepping stone rather than a partner, it's time to move on. Loyalty should never come at the cost of your well-being. Don't stick with bad friends just because you've known them for a long time. Sometimes, the hardest decisions lead to the greatest growth. Toxic relationships drain your energy and prevent you from achieving your full potential. These relationships often involve manipulation, constant negativity, or one-sided dynamics where you give far more than you receive. Recognizing these patterns is the first step toward liberation. Once you identify toxic behaviors, such as disrespect, dishonesty, or emotional abuse, you must take decisive action to distance yourself. Remember, letting go doesn't mean you failed. It means you're choosing to prioritize your mental and emotional health. Healing begins when you surround yourself with people who genuinely care about your well-being and encourage your growth. The power of resilience. Resilience isn't just about bouncing back. It's about thriving despite adversity. Life will test you repeatedly, but each challenge presents an opportunity for growth. Consider this: failure doesn't define you, it refines you. By embracing setbacks as stepping stones, you cultivate mental toughness. Remember, the harder your life becomes, the faster you will reach your goals. This mindset shift transforms obstacles into opportunities, empowering you to persevere. Resilience is not something you're born with, it's a skill you develop through practice and persistence. Building resilience requires a proactive approach. Start by reframing your perspective on challenges. Instead of viewing difficulties as insurmountable barriers, see them as chances to learn and adapt. Develop coping mechanisms such as mindfulness, journaling, or seeking support from trusted mentors. Surround yourself with positive influences who reinforce your strength and determination. Over time, resilience becomes second nature, enabling you to face life's uncertainties with confidence and grace. Prioritizing self-worth. Your self-worth is non-negotiable. Never settle for anyone or anything that diminishes your value. Boundaries aren't barriers, they're bridges to healthier connections. Saying no without guilt protects your time and priorities, allowing you to focus on what truly matters. When you prioritize self-respect, others naturally follow suit. After all, those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind. Self-worth is the foundation of a fulfilling life. It begins with recognizing your inherent value and refusing to compromise it for external validation. Practice self-compassion by treating yourself with kindness and understanding, especially during difficult times. Avoid comparing yourself to others, as this undermines your confidence and distracts you from your unique journey. Instead, celebrate your strengths and accomplishments, no matter how small. By cultivating a strong sense of self-worth, you attract relationships and opportunities that align with your values and aspirations. Embracing imperfection. Perfectionism is a trap that stifles progress. Instead of chasing flawlessness, aim for improvement. Accept that mistakes are inevitable, and not failures but lessons. Each misstep teaches you something new, shaping you into a wiser version of yourself. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "The impediment to action advances action." What stands in the way becomes the way. Let imperfection fuel your journey forward. Growth happens when you step outside your comfort zone and embrace the messy, unpredictable process of becoming. Embracing imperfection involves shifting your mindset from judgment to curiosity. Rather than criticizing yourself for errors, ask what you can learn from them. Celebrate progress over perfection, focusing on consistent effort rather than immediate results. Surround yourself with people who appreciate authenticity and encourage experimentation. By embracing imperfection, you create space for creativity, innovation, and meaningful growth. Building a purposeful life. Without a clear sense of purpose, life can feel directionless. Define your why, the driving force behind your ambitions. Whether it's personal fulfillment, professional success, or contributing to society, having a meaningful goal keeps you motivated. Take small, consistent steps toward your vision, knowing that every effort counts. As Nietzsche wisely noted, he who has a why to live can bear almost any how. Purpose gives your life meaning, guiding you through challenges and inspiring you to keep moving forward. Building a purposeful life requires introspection and intentionality. Reflect on your passions, values, and talents to identify what truly matters to you. Set specific, measurable goals that align with your purpose, breaking them down into manageable tasks. Stay flexible, adapting your plans as circumstances change while remaining committed to your overarching vision. Surround yourself with supportive individuals who share your values and encourage your growth. By living with purpose, you create a life filled with passion, impact, and fulfillment. Practicing mindfulness and emotional control. Mindfulness isn't just a buzzword, it's a practice that anchors you in the present moment. By observing your thoughts and emotions without judgment, you gain greater control over your reactions. Stoic philosophy teaches us that external events don't dictate our happiness, our responses do. Cultivate emotional intelligence by pausing before reacting. Ask yourself, will this matter tomorrow? Next week? Next year? Often the answer is no. Mindfulness allows you to navigate life's ups and downs with grace and clarity. Practicing mindfulness involves training your mind to stay focused on the here and now. Incorporate techniques such as meditation, deep breathing, or mindful journaling into your daily routine. Pay attention to your thoughts and feelings without attaching labels like good or bad. Instead, observe them objectively, acknowledging their presence without letting them dictate your actions. Over time, mindfulness strengthens your ability to regulate emotions, reducing stress and enhancing overall well-being. By staying present, you cultivate a deeper connection to yourself and the world around you. Learning from others' mistakes. One of the most effective ways to grow is by learning from the mistakes of others. Vicarious learning allows you to avoid unnecessary pain and gain wisdom without enduring the same hardships. Study the lives of philosophers like Epictetus, Nietzsche, and Marcus Aurelius. Their teachings offer invaluable insights into human behavior, societal norms, and existential dilemmas. For instance, Nietzsche's concept of the Mensch encourages individuals to transcend limitations and create their own values. Similarly, Buddhist philosophy emphasizes detachment from material desires, fostering inner peace. By observing the consequences of others' actions, you can make more informed decisions in your own life. Take the time to reflect on the stories of those around you. What mistakes have they made? What lessons have they learned? Use these observations to refine your approach to challenges. Remember, ignorance is not bliss, it's a missed opportunity for growth. The more you learn vicariously, the less you'll have to suffer firsthand. Taking responsibility for your life. Blaming others for your problems gives them power over you. Instead, take ownership of your circumstances. While external factors may influence your journey, your response determines your outcome. Real growth begins when you stop blaming and start improving. As Epictetus famously stated, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Responsibility empowers you to shape your destiny, reclaiming control over your life. Taking responsibility means acknowledging your role in both successes and failures. It requires humility to admit when you're wrong and courage to make amends. When you accept accountability, you free yourself from the cycle of victimhood and open the door to transformation. This mindset shift is essential for personal development and long-term success. Balancing ambition with contentment. Ambition drives progress, but contentment sustains happiness. Strive for excellence without losing sight of gratitude. Celebrate small victories along the way, knowing that joy lies in the journey, not the destination. Reflect on the words of Epicurus. Not what we have, but what we enjoy constitutes our abundance. Balance ambition with mindfulness, appreciating the present moment while working toward your dreams. To achieve this balance, set realistic goals and break them into manageable steps. Focus on consistent effort rather than immediate results. Practice gratitude daily by reflecting on the things you appreciate in your life, no matter how small. By cultivating contentment alongside ambition, you create a fulfilling and sustainable path forward. Preparing for uncertainty. Life is unpredictable, and clinging to certainty only breeds anxiety. Embrace uncertainty as a catalyst for creativity and adaptability. Develop a mindset that welcomes change, viewing it as an opportunity rather than a threat. Stoicism reminds us that some things are within our control, while others are not. Focus on what you can influence, and let go of the rest. Preparing for uncertainty involves building resilience and flexibility. Stay open to new possibilities, and trust your ability to navigate challenges. By embracing the unknown, you unlock your potential and create a life filled with possibility. Remember, the magic you're looking for is often in the work you're avoiding. Healing and moving forward. Healing is a deeply personal journey that requires courage and self-awareness. Acknowledge your wounds, but don't let them define you. Healing means taking an honest look at the role you play in your own suffering and making conscious choices to break free from destructive patterns. Surround yourself with supportive people who uplift and inspire you. Remember, healing is not about forgetting, it's about transforming pain into strength. To heal effectively, practice self-compassion and patience. Allow yourself to feel emotions fully without judgment. Seek professional help if needed, and prioritize activities that nurture your mind, body, and spirit. By committing to the healing process, you create space for growth and renewal. Setting healthy boundaries. Boundaries are essential for maintaining healthy relationships and protecting your well-being. Learn to say no without guilt, setting limits that honor your needs and priorities. Healthy boundaries prevent resentment and ensure mutual respect. They also help you identify toxic individuals who drain your energy and sabotage your growth. By setting boundaries, you create space for authentic connections and meaningful interactions. Establishing boundaries requires clear communication and consistency. Be firm yet compassionate when expressing your limits. Remember, boundaries are not about controlling others, they're about empowering yourself. By prioritizing your needs, you cultivate relationships built on trust and understanding. Cultivating gratitude. Gratitude is a powerful tool for shifting your perspective and enhancing your well-being. Practice gratitude daily by reflecting on the things you appreciate in your life, no matter how small. Gratitude helps you focus on the positive, reducing stress and increasing happiness. As Melody Beattie once said, "Gratitude turns what we have into enough and more." By cultivating gratitude, you attract positivity and abundance into your life. To incorporate gratitude into your routine, keep a journal where you write down 3 things you're thankful for each day. Share your appreciation with others through kind words or gestures. Over time, gratitude becomes a habit that enriches your outlook and strengthens your resilience. Overcoming fear of failure. Fear of failure often holds us back from pursuing our dreams. However, failure is not the opposite of success. It's a stepping stone on the path to achievement. Embrace failure as a teacher, learning valuable lessons that propel you forward. Take calculated risks, knowing that growth lies on the other side of fear. Remember, the only failure is not trying. And courageously pursue your goals, trusting that every experience contributes to your development. Overcoming fear of failure involves reframing your mindset. View setbacks as opportunities for growth, rather than reasons to give up. Surround yourself with supportive individuals who encourage risk-taking and celebrate effort. By embracing failure, you build confidence and unlock your potential. Finding strength in solitude. Solitude is not loneliness, it's an opportunity for self-discovery and reflection. Spend time alone to recharge, reflect, and reconnect with your inner self. Solitude fosters creativity, clarity, and emotional resilience. Use this time to journal, meditate, or engage in activities that bring you joy. By embracing solitude, you cultivate a deeper understanding of yourself and strengthen your ability to navigate life's challenges. To make the most of solitude, create a peaceful environment free from distractions. Set aside dedicated time for introspection and self-care. Reflect on your goals, values, and aspirations, and use this clarity to guide your decisions. By valuing solitude, you enhance your mental and emotional well-being. Building meaningful connections. Meaningful connections enrich your life, providing support, inspiration, and joy. Invest time and energy in nurturing relationships that matter. Be genuine, listen actively, and show appreciation for the people in your life. Avoid superficial connections that drain your energy and detract from your well-being. By building meaningful connections, you create a network of love and support that sustains you through life's ups and downs. To foster meaningful connections, prioritize quality over quantity. Focus on deepening existing relationships rather than accumulating acquaintances. Be vulnerable and authentic, sharing your thoughts and feelings openly. By investing in genuine connections, you build a foundation of trust and mutual respect. Pursuing lifelong learning. Lifelong learning is the key to personal and professional growth. Stay curious, seek knowledge, and embrace new experiences. Read books, attend workshops, and engage in conversations that challenge your perspective. Lifelong learning keeps your mind sharp, expands your horizons, and fuels your passion for life. As Albert Einstein once said, once you stop learning, you start dying. Commit to continuous growth, knowing that every lesson brings you closer to your potential. To pursue lifelong learning, adopt a growth mindset. Embrace challenges as opportunities to expand your skills and knowledge. Stay open to feedback and be willing to adapt. By prioritizing learning, you remain adaptable and resilient in an ever-changing world. Practicing forgiveness. Forgiveness is a gift you give yourself, freeing you from the burden of resentment and anger. Let go of grudges, understanding that holding on to negativity only harms you. Forgive others, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting, it means releasing the hold that past hurts have on your present. By practicing forgiveness, you create space for healing and happiness. To practice forgiveness, start by acknowledging your feelings without judgment. Communicate openly with those who have wronged you, if possible, and express your desire to move forward. Focus on empathy and compassion, recognizing that everyone makes mistakes. By forgiving, you reclaim your power and restore your peace of mind. Embracing change. Change is inevitable, and resisting it only creates suffering. Embrace change as a natural part of life, welcoming new opportunities and experiences. Adaptability is a hallmark of resilience, enabling you to thrive in the face of uncertainty. You change as a chance to grow, evolve, and reinvent yourself. By embracing change, you unlock your potential and create a life filled with possibility. To embrace change, Stay flexible and open-minded. Approach new situations with curiosity and optimism. Trust your ability to adapt and overcome challenges. By welcoming change, you position yourself for success and fulfillment. Living authentically. Authenticity is the foundation of a fulfilling life. Be true to yourself, honoring your values, passions, and aspirations. Don't conform to societal expectations or seek validation from others. Authenticity attracts genuine connections and fosters self-respect. As Oscar Wilde once said, "Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken." Live authentically, knowing that your uniqueness is your greatest strength. To live authentically, align your actions with your beliefs. Prioritize activities that bring you joy and fulfillment. Surround yourself with people who celebrate your individuality and support your growth. By staying true to yourself, you create a life that reflects your deepest desires and aspirations. In summary, these life lessons provide a roadmap for navigating 2025 with confidence and clarity. From letting go of toxic relationships to embracing imperfection, each insight equips you with tools for personal and spiritual growth. Remember, your future depends on your focus. Choose wisely. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Share your favorite takeaway in the comments below and let us know how you plan to apply these lessons in your own life. Don't forget to subscribe to Ancient Wisdom for more inspiring content. Stay tuned for an exciting discussion between Ethan and Olivia, two incredible guests who will delve deeper into these topics and share their unique perspectives. Their conversation promises to be both enlightening and transformative. Don't miss it.
Welcome back to the Deep Dive. You know we all want a better life, right?
Yeah.
And you sent us this awesome piece about life lessons for 2025. It's packed with ancient wisdom.
Yeah.
But the challenge is figuring out how to actually APPLY it.
Right.
So today we're going to break it down together.
Okay.
And see what we can learn. Ready to dive in?
Absolutely. I think we're going to uncover some practical strategies you can use right away.
All right, the piece starts off with a bang, talking about toxic relationships.
Oh, okay.
And it's not just about obvious drama. It uses this powerful image of a circle that feels like a cage.
Right.
Even if it's made up of people you love. Have you ever felt that way? Where your relationships felt more confining than supportive?
Yeah. I think it's a common experience. The source highlights that loyalty, while important, shouldn't come at the cost of your well-being.
Right.
Sometimes we get so caught up in maintaining appearances or fulfilling expectations that we lose sight of our own needs.
Okay, so how do we actually identify those toxic behaviors?
Right.
The piece mentions disrespect, dishonesty, emotional abuse. But what do those look like in everyday life?
It can be subtle. Think about interactions that leave you feeling drained or constantly on edge.
Yeah.
Maybe someone consistently dismisses your feelings.
Right.
Makes promises they don't keep.
Yeah.
Or puts you down in front of others.
Oh, wow.
These are red flags worth paying attention to.
It's almost like a slow leak in your energy, right? You might not even realize it's happening until you're completely exhausted.
Right.
And the source is pretty clear. Sometimes the healthiest thing is to move on from these relationships.
Right.
That can't be easy.
It takes courage to walk away.
Yeah.
Especially if these are long-standing relationships. But staying in a toxic environment can be far more damaging in the long run.
Right.
The piece emphasizes that letting go isn't about failure. It's about choosing self-preservation and opening yourself up to healthier connections.
Now I get it. It's easier said than done, especially if you've invested a lot of time and energy into those relationships. But here's something I found really interesting.
Okay.
The piece connects this idea of leaving toxic situations to building resilience. It has this almost paradoxical line. The harder your life becomes, the faster you will reach your goals. Wait, what? How does that work? Shouldn't an easier life help us achieve more?
It seems counterintuitive, right?
Yeah.
But think about it this way.
Okay.
Challenges force us to adapt, to develop new skills, and to discover inner strength we didn't know we had.
So the tougher things get, the more resourceful we become.
Right.
Almost like facing those trials by fire forges us into stronger individuals.
Exactly. The source actually used the analogy of cognitive reframing. It's about changing your perspective on difficult situations. Instead of seeing a setback as a defeat, view it as an opportunity to learn and grow.
Can you give an example of how this reframing thing actually works?
Okay, let's say you've been working really hard on a project at work, and despite your best efforts, it falls apart. Instead of getting caught up in self-blame and frustration, you could ask yourself, what could I learn from this experience?
Right.
What could I have done differently? How can I use this knowledge to improve next time?
I see. So it's about shifting from a victim mentality to a more empowered approach. Instead of asking, why me? You're asking, what now?
Precisely. And the more we practice this kind of reframing, the more resilient we become. Challenges become opportunities for growth rather than insurmountable obstacles.
So it's not about avoiding challenges altogether, but rather changing how we react to them.
Exactly. It's about building that mental and emotional muscle to bounce back from adversity.
All right. So we've tackled toxic relationships and started building our resilience. But how do we make sure we're attracting healthier connections in the first place? The source digs into this idea of self-worth and boundaries. There's this quote, "Those who mind don't matter, and those who matter don't mind." It sounds like a catchy saying. But what does it actually mean for, someone listening right now?
It's about understanding that true self-worth comes from within. Not from seeking validation from others. When you value yourself, you set boundaries that protect your energy and well-being. And the people who truly care about you will respect those boundaries.
But what if setting boundaries makes people upset? Isn't there a risk of pushing people away?
That's a common fear. But think about it this way. If someone is constantly violating your boundaries, are they truly respecting you? Or are they more concerned with their own needs and desires? Setting boundaries isn't about being selfish. It's about creating healthy and sustainable relationships where everyone feels heard and respected.
So it's about communicating your needs clearly and sticking to your guns, even if it's uncomfortable.
Absolutely. It's about recognizing that you deserve to be treated with respect. And that includes respecting your own limits.
But how do we actually do that? Where do we even start?
The first step is to identify your non-negotiables. What are the values and behaviors that are absolutely essential for you in any relationship? Think about past experiences where you felt disrespected or taken advantage of. What were the boundaries that were crossed? Once you have a clearer understanding of your needs, you can start communicating them assertively and compassionately.
So let's say someone is always late and it drives you crazy. How would you approach that situation using this boundary setting approach?
You could start by calmly explaining to the person how their lateness affects you. You could say something like, I really value our time together. But when you're consistently late, it makes me feel disrespected and like my time isn't important. Then you could set a clear boundary like, in the future, if you're going to be more than 15 minutes late, please let me know and I'll adjust my schedule accordingly.
So it's about being direct but not aggressive, and being consistent with those boundaries.
Exactly. It's about finding that balance between being assertive and compassionate. And remember, it's okay to say no to requests or situations that don't align with your boundaries. You don't always need to explain yourself or apologize for prioritizing your well-being.
That's a powerful reminder. Okay, before we move on to the next topic, what's one key takeaway you'd like our listener to reflect on when it comes to toxic relationships and boundaries?
I think the most important thing is to remember that you deserve to be in relationships that uplift you, not drain you. Don't be afraid to walk away from situations that no longer serve you. And don't be afraid to set boundaries that protect your energy and well-being. You're worth it.
I love that. Okay, we're gonna dig into some more of these life lessons. Including embracing imperfection and finding your purpose.
Sounds good.
Welcome back to the deep dive. So far, we've talked about escaping those circle as a cage relationships and building up our resilience muscle.
Right.
But this next section of the piece is about something so many of us struggle with, embracing imperfection.
Right.
The source even goes so far as to call perfectionism a trap.
It's a trap many of us fall into.
Oh, yeah.
We strive for flawlessness in our work, our relationships, even in ourselves.
Right.
But the reality is that perfection is an illusion.
Oh.
It's an unattainable standard that can lead to procrastination, anxiety, and a constant feeling of inadequacy.
Yeah, no, I've definitely been there. The fear of not being good enough can be paralyzing. The source argues that instead of striving for this impossible ideal of perfection, we should shift our focus to curiosity.
Okay.
I'm curious to hear your thoughts on this.
Yeah.
How can we actually apply this in our daily lives?
Think about the last time you made a mistake.
Okay.
Did you beat yourself up over it? Did you dwell on all the things you should have done differently?
Yeah.
What if, instead of judging yourself, you approach the situation with curiosity?
So instead of asking, what's wrong with me, we should be asking, what can I learn from this?
Exactly. The source highlights Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, who famously said, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. It's a powerful reminder that obstacles and setbacks are not roadblocks to success, but rather opportunities for growth and learning.
That's a great quote. It completely reframes our relationship with mistakes.
Right.
I think we can all relate to that feeling of being stuck, of letting the fear of failure hold us back.
Yeah.
So if we're going to embrace imperfection, we also have to embrace taking risks.
Right, absolutely. The source emphasizes the importance of calculated risks.
Okay.
It's not about being reckless, but rather about stepping outside your comfort zone and trying new things.
Yeah.
Knowing that failure is not the opposite of success, but a stepping stone along the way.
And that brings us to another key theme in this piece, finding your purpose. This one really resonated with me. The source quotes Nietzsche, he who has a why to live can bear almost anyhow. I mean, that's pretty intense.
It is.
But it also speaks to the power of purpose. So how do we actually discover our why? How do we figure out what truly matters to us?
The source suggests starting with some introspection. What are you passionate about? What activities bring you joy and make you feel alive? What are your values? What kind of impact do you want to make on the world?
Okay, so it's about identifying our passions and aligning them with our values. It's about finding something that gives our lives meaning beyond just the day-to-day grind.
Precisely.
I love that. It's about finding that sweet spot where your passions, talents, and values intersect. And it's also about recognizing that purpose can evolve over time. What might have felt meaningful to you 5 years ago might not resonate as strongly today.
That's a great point. Life is a journey, and our sense of purpose can evolve and deepen as we grow and learn.
Speaking of growth and learning, the next section of the piece focuses on mindfulness and emotional control. And this is something I'm personally really fascinated by. The source argues that external events don't dictate our happiness. Our responses do. I think that's such a powerful idea.
It is.
But how do we actually put it into practice?
It's about cultivating the ability to observe our thoughts and emotions without judgment. Instead of immediately reacting to a situation, we pause, take a breath, and ask ourselves, is this something I can control? Is my reaction serving me in this moment?
It's like pressing the pause button before we let our emotions run wild, right? It's about creating that space between stimulus and response. But that's easier said than done.
It is.
Our brains are wired to react quickly to perceived threats.
Absolutely. But the good news is that we can train our brains to become less reactive and more intentional. The source highlights several techniques for cultivating mindfulness, such as meditation, deep breathing exercises, and even simply taking a few moments to be fully present in the current moment.
So it's about slowing down, becoming more aware of our thoughts and feelings, and choosing how we want to respond.
Precisely. And with practice, we can become less reactive,
Right.
and more resilient in the face of life's inevitable challenges.
Now, here's a section that I found particularly practical.
Okay.
It's about learning from others' mistakes.
Right.
The source specifically mentions philosophers like Epictetus, Nietzsche, and Marcus Aurelius. It's like having these wise mentors from history to guide us.
It is.
What can we learn from their lives and teachings?
What's fascinating is the idea of vicarious learning.
Okay.
Essentially gaining wisdom from the experiences of others without having to go through those hardships ourselves.
Right.
These philosophers offer a wealth of knowledge about human nature, resilience, and finding meaning in life.
Yeah.
They faced challenges, made mistakes, and learned valuable lessons along the way.
So it's like having a shortcut to wisdom, right? We can learn from their successes and their failures. Without having to repeat those same patterns ourselves.
Right.
But how do we actually access that wisdom? Is it just about reading their works?
Reading their writings is a great starting point.
Okay.
But it's also about reflecting on their lives and teachings.
Right.
And applying those insights to our own experiences. For example, Epictetus emphasized the importance of focusing on what we can control.
Okay.
A principle that can be incredibly empowering in our modern world.
That's a great example, and there are so many timeless lessons we can glean from these thinkers.
Right.
Okay, let's shift gears and talk about taking responsibility. The source quotes Epictetus again. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
It's about taking ownership of our choices and actions.
Right.
But what does that look like in practice?
It's about recognizing that we have more agency than we often realize.
Okay.
It's about acknowledging the areas where we tend to blame external circumstances or other people for our own unhappiness or lack of progress.
Yeah.
It's about asking ourselves, what could I be doing differently?
Okay.
How can I take more responsibility for my own well-being?
So it's about shifting from a victim mentality to an empowered approach. Instead of saying, this is happening to me, we say, how can I respond to this in a way that empowers me?
Precisely. And taking responsibility doesn't mean we have to do everything alone.
Right.
It's also about recognizing when we need support and reaching out for help when we need it.
Let's give our listener a concrete example.
Okay.
Let's say someone is struggling with their finances. How would taking responsibility look in that situation?
Instead of blaming the economy or their past financial decisions, they could start by tracking their spending, creating a budget, and exploring ways to increase their income. They could also seek out resources and support to improve their financial literacy.
Yeah.
It's about moving from a place of feeling helpless to a place of taking action.
I love that. It's about focusing on what we can control instead of dwelling on what we can't.
Exactly. It's about becoming the architects of our own lives.
Yeah.
Rather than passive passengers.
Now, I have to admit, sometimes all this talk about taking responsibility and striving for growth can feel a bit overwhelming.
I understand.
It's like, okay, I'm supposed to be resilient, driven, constantly improving.
Right.
When do I get to just relax and enjoy the ride?
Right.
But the source reminds us of the importance of balancing ambition with contentment. It's about finding that sweet spot. Between striving for more and appreciating what we already have.
It's about recognizing that joy is found not just in achieving our goals, but also in the journey itself.
Right.
The source quotes Epicurus, who said, "Not what we have, but what we enjoy constitutes our abundance." It's a powerful reminder that happiness is not a destination.
Right.
It's a state of being.
That's so true. It's easy to get caught up in the what's next mindset.
Yeah.
And forget to savor the little things. To celebrate the small victories along the way. Speaking of which, what are some small victories our listener might have achieved recently that they can be proud of? Maybe they finally started that workout routine they've been putting off, had a difficult conversation they'd been avoiding, or simply made it through a tough week with their sanity intact.
Right.
Whatever it is, take a moment to acknowledge and celebrate your progress.
Great point. It's so important to acknowledge those wins.
Yeah.
No matter how small they may seem.
Right.
They are the building blocks of our larger successes and a reminder of our own strength and resilience.
Okay, we're gonna, we'll be tackling some big questions about uncertainty, healing, and living authentically. Welcome back to The Deep Dive. We've been unpacking these life lessons from your source material, and I have to say, this next section really piqued my curiosity. It's all about embracing uncertainty.
Okay.
I don't know about you, but I tend to crave stability and predictability. But this piece actually encourages us to get excited about the unknown. How can we shift from feeling anxious to feeling, dare I say, adventurous about the things we can't control?
Yeah, that's a fantastic question, and it really gets to the heart of how we view the world. So often we resist change.
Right.
We cling to the familiar, even when it's no longer serving us.
Yeah.
But what if we saw uncertainty not as a threat, but as an invitation to explore new possibilities?
So instead of fearing the unknown, we lean into it.
Right.
I can see how that could be empowering, but it also feels a little scary, to be honest.
Of course. Stepping outside our comfort zones can feel daunting.
Yeah.
But the source reminds us that life is inherently unpredictable. And that's what makes it so exciting. When we let go of the need to control everything, we open ourselves up to serendipitous encounters, unexpected opportunities, and a sense of wonder that we might otherwise miss.
I love that. It's like that saying, life is what happens when you're busy making other plans.
Exactly.
So instead of resisting change, we learn to dance with it.
Exactly. And the more we practice embracing uncertainty, the more adaptable and resilient we become. We develop the ability to navigate life's inevitable twists and turns with grace and even a sense of humor.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit and talk about healing. This piece emphasizes that healing is a journey, not a destination.
Right.
What does that actually mean in practical terms? It's easy to get caught up in this idea of fixing ourselves.
Yeah.
But what if true healing is more about evolution than resolution?
It's a profound point. So often we approach healing with a sense of urgency, as if there's a finish line we need to cross.
Right.
But the reality is that healing takes time, patience, and self-compassion. It's about acknowledging our wounds, processing our emotions, and making conscious choices that support our well-being.
And isn't that ongoing?
It is.
It's not like we reach this point where we're suddenly healed and immune to life's challenges. It's a continual process of growth and evolution.
Absolutely. And sometimes healing isn't about erasing the past, but rather about learning to integrate it into our present in a way that feels empowering.
Okay.
It's about transforming our wounds into sources of wisdom and strength.
I love that reframing.
Yeah.
So if someone is listening and thinking, okay, I'm ready to start this healing journey, where do they begin? What's one tangible step they can take today?
There are so many paths to healing, but I think one of the most important is simply acknowledging where you are right now. What are you feeling? What are you struggling with? What are your needs? Once you have a clearer understanding of your starting point, you can start exploring different modalities that resonate with you.
Yeah.
Maybe it's journaling, therapy, spending time in nature, creative expression, or connecting with the supportive community.
It's about listening to your inner wisdom and honoring your own unique healing process. And speaking of honoring ourselves, the next topic in this piece is all about living authentically.
Okay.
I think this is something that really resonates with people today.
It does.
There's such a longing to be true to ourselves and live a life that reflects our values and passions.
The source quotes Oscar Wilde, who said, "Be yourself. Everyone else is already taken."
Wow.
It's a beautiful reminder that our uniqueness is our greatest gift.
Right.
When we try to conform to societal expectations or live up to someone else's idea of who we should be, we stifle our own creativity, joy, and potential.
It's like we're trying to fit into a mold that wasn't made for us.
Right.
And in the process, we lose sight of our own unique shape and brilliance.
Exactly. Living authentically requires courage and self-awareness. It's about identifying our values, passions, and dreams, and then making choices that align with those truths.
So it's about aligning our actions with our values. And creating a life that feels meaningful and fulfilling on a soul level.
Precisely. And that's a lifelong journey of discovery.
Right.
It's about being open to learning, growing, and evolving as we go.
Well, we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
From navigating toxic relationships to embracing uncertainty and living authentically.
Right.
We've explored a whole range of life lessons that can help us create a more fulfilling and meaningful existence. Any final thoughts you want to leave our listener with?
I think the most important takeaway is this. You have the power to shape your own life.
Yeah.
It's not always easy.
Right.
And there will be challenges along the way. But you have the strength, the wisdom, and the resilience to create a life you love.
Beautifully said. And here's something to ponder as you go about your day. What if the key to a better future isn't just about learning new things, but about unlearning some of the old patterns and beliefs that are holding us back?
Right.
What if true growth comes from letting go of what no longer serves us and making space for something new?
That's a powerful question to reflect on. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.